Uh, so we are HPC partner. We do work a lot with companies like NVIDIA, Intel on the CN5, and also on the FPGAs like Kaae. Uh, and we are constantly looking into, are there anything to gain in terms of using these accelerators within bioinformatics. And so I'd like to talk about two customers that we've recently started working with. The first one, and I think Thomas was here talking about CBS, the Center for Bioinformatics Sequencing earlier, and they came to us about a year and a half ago and said we need to buy the biggest, the largest supercomputer in Denmark, and we want to use it for bioinformatics and sequencing. And the name was going to be Computer Rome, and they asked us, how do we design this? How should we build this? How do we get the most hardware for the money and the best solution? So this is kind of what I'm going to go through. I'm going to run through these because I'm a little bit time constrained, and I have quite a few slides. I think you've seen this, but basically, I think the state today is that you can generate so much data from the new sequencers that it's really hard for the today's computers and today's storage systems to follow up and being able to analyze and hold all the data. So these were the design criteria that we got from CBS. Normally we've been doing HPC since 2002 together with HP, and we found out that bioinformatics and sequencing is not the same type of hardware you need. It's not really the same kind of job types as you do in regular HPC. For example, there's very little inter-node communication. If you look at astrophysics or flow dynamics, there's a lot of intercommunication between the computer nodes. Bioinformatics, there's not really a whole lot. So the way we designed the network reflected that. Also, there's thousands of different applications for CBS. The CBS, it was going to be a general purpose system. They're going to run anything from, they're going to have users from Novo Nordisk. They're going to have users from doctors as users. They're going to have a lot of different scientists doing a lot of different work. So, and again, as I think Thomas emphasized earlier, codes are written quickly, dirty. They're written in Java and Perl. It's just a matter of getting the job done and have some good hardware underneath that saves you and makes sure that you run. As they're saying here, they want poorly written code to run 80% of peak, 80% of the time. And of course, we're not getting there, but we got partly there. Another thing that we see within bioinformatics is that there's a lot of legacy SDI systems out there with very large memory systems, and I think within bioinformatics, scientists are able to split the jobs up and use less memory. But if you are still sitting out there with requirements for a large shared memory system with more than 2 or 4 terabytes, HP actually has a brand new system where you don't pay any real premium gigabyte per dollar per gigabyte, going up to 6 and even 12 terabytes, just small systems. So forget the old SDI pricing. That's history. Another thing that was, of course, a need for a huge amount of memory and a huge amount of shared storage. Another thing that CBS wanted, this is going to be a production system. This system can go down. This has to be available at all times. Data cannot be lost. If you have Novo Nordisk running on it, you don't want to lose data because then you lose an important customer and an important investment. Also, it had to be monitored and it had to be accounted. So customers using this are going to pay some kind of fee for using this system. Another thing, because you have private pharma companies and scientists all using the same server, you've got to make sure that your security is on top. Another thing, when they came to us, they didn't have any data center. So they also wanted to buy a data center, and we'll show you how we did that. I think you saw the pictures earlier. But they wanted best-in-class power and cooling. They wanted green. They wanted low PoE, all those things. They wanted to reuse the heat from the servers. They wanted to monitor, and they wanted all that done in 4 months. A new data center. And they had about 10 million crowns, Danish crowns, which are a little bit more than the Swedes, but not a lot. Computer requirements, I think I went through that. Storage requirements. One of the things that we normally sell in HPC are large cluster storage, right? Where you can do parallel write and get extreme performance. One of the things that CVS really requested was not just that, but also a request for writing tons or millions or even billions of very small files and read them. And Lustre, Fraunhofer, some of those are maybe not the world's best at millions of small files. So we found another solution that we thought was good and had the right price. So there's some metadata performance that with Lustre and Fraunhofer may not work that well. Again, I think it talked about production environment. CBS required, and I think there's some American rules saying that you have to have 4 copies of your data. So we actually, most of the important data, we keep 4 copies. And we keep it geographically separated, about 50 kilometers between the main site and the secondary site. And we have replication over Denmark's Forskernet, the internal research network. So this is the solution we came up with. So HP do sell containers. HP has some very good containers that are used as data centers. But the customer here wanted something special, so we custom designed and created those 2 containers for them. These are 15 meters long. They can you can remove the front and expand them another 15 meter. So right inside there is about 15 racks for compute resources. The other container has the storage that I'm going to tell you a little bit about. What they wanted was raised floor, cold water. Everything's cooled with cold water. There's in-row coolers, but they also wanted a secondary water circuit that runs with warm water. And this water actually goes directly onto the CPUs and cools them and goes out again. And you can use a lot warmer water. The nice thing about warm water is that cold water is very difficult to take the heat out of. Warm water you can use for floor heating, or you can use a water pump and use the heat. But they are planning, and I think Thomas said that they are going to give some of that heat back to the city of Roskilde, where it's located. These are built with 500 kilowatts of power and cooling. So this is what we came up with in terms of servers. And why are we choosing HP? HP simply has the best servers. They don't always have the right price, but in many cases they do. When you buy from HP, you just get servers that work. You've got a lot fewer failures, and it's just nice. You have a happy customer afterwards. If you try to sell, which I have tried to sell some of the other, you often run into problems. So, but the HP just works. So the solution here: 540 nodes, each with 128 gigabytes. These are brand new Haswell processors, and then customer also wanted some fat nodes, so we actually have 27 nodes with 1 terabyte of memory. So all in all, if you look at the bottom here, and I'm hitting the wrong bottom, we have almost 100 terabytes of memory in the system. And we have a little more than 16,000 cores, and we're number 121 on the top 500. So as I said earlier, knowing and understanding bioinformatics world, we knew that we needed InfiniBand, but we didn't need the the fastest InfiniBand. We didn't need to spend a ton of money on it. InfiniBand. It's better to spend more money on compute resources and storage. So that's why we built a 5-to-1 block instead of spending another few million Danish crowns on networking. On the storage side, we selected Isilon from EMC, and normally you think about EMC, they're very expensive. They have good support, they're very expensive, and but it turned out that there's some new players here. There's a lot of new storage vendors, XDS, EMC, and others. They see that this is going to explode in terms of data, and they're going to make money in this area. So they're coming, they're very interested in working with you, and they give us good prices. So it's you know, it was not a player that I was expecting was going to win this, but they were very aggressive, and they have a superior solution. And CBS really liked the fact that they had a lot of software, a lot of storage software, enterprise software that keeps the system up. They have one, maybe two storage admins running these many petabytes of storage, and the replication here. See, the first one has 50 storage nodes. Look at the Kaae. It has 150 SSDs in it, and this is the secondary one. How are we doing on time? About a minute or two. So, interesting choice, but it's really a good solution. Customer is running today, and I'm very happy with the EMC solution. We also had some software tool on, and one of the things that's really important when you set up a cluster is to set up this HP automatic notification. So the system automatically calls home if there's a server down. If you have between 500 and 1,000 servers, you don't want to keep track of, you know, writing support cases. You want this to do it automatically for you. So this is CBS, and CBS is actually extremely happy. And if anybody's interested in talking to CBS about the installation, about what they're doing, please let me know. Here's another customer in Germany that we work with. This is the Cancer Research, DKC Research Center in Heidelberg. They have just bought 10 sequencers of the HiSeqX, and they have 4 up running now. They plan to run, sequence about 18,000 genomes a year, and they need to buy some hardware for that. So you can see here they expect to generate about 6 petabytes annually, and they went with us, and I'm sorry about this here. But what they turned out to work out with our designers were that they decided to go with 30 nodes of very fast HP Apollo servers with very fast CPUs. And they decided, and this may be something that's interesting, they decided to go with these SSDs. And these are not SSD disks, these are SSD cards that you connect directly up to the PCI bus. So you don't have to convert to the SCSI protocol. This is all, it gives you a much better latency. So this is a way, instead of buying a lot of very, very expensive memory, you buy less expensive SSD cards that's close, but gives you a lot more tight memory performance. So I think that's the. So next time you have need for hardware, new solution, come to us, come to Go Virtual. Let's work with HP and generate and create a good solution for you. And you will be surprised about partners that will work with you that you've never heard in this space before. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Perfect.
We have time for